Welcome to Angels Talk, Soul Relationships. Here's your host, Sandra Lynch.
Hello. Thank you all again for taking your time to stop, look, and listen in our divine appointment here today. I am super excited. Sandra Lynch here, bringing you the second of a new world, a one world, one dream in the spirit of unity episodes of Angels Talk. And I can't stand it. I can barely sit in my seat. I have a guest with me today that is just going to give you wings to fly. He's sitting right beside me. His name is the one, the only, Rusty Piazza. Hi, Rusty.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
How am I? Oh, my God. How am I? There's no words to describe how I am today.
Truly divinely blessed.
Yes, yes, yes. Rusty, I just have to tell everyone right here now, because I did not plan to be on this show. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And here's why. It's your fault.
Then I'll accept that.
Yeah, and just to catch everybody up, it's 5 years later here today at the Access Station here in the nation, and unfolding the TV Angels Talk, thanks to the Metaphysical Chapel and all of the spiritual messengers there. Rusty is one of them who is coming through there as I visited there. Mm-hmm. And that's what initiated and prompted this to come alive again. I'm happy to be here.
Happy
to be here with you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I want to also share with everyone, I was sitting at the chapel one night, and my guides that I have been working with nudged me pretty hard and said, you need to talk with Rusty. It's time to talk with him. He has some interesting things to share with everybody. And so what I'd like to do, Rusty, I'd like to share these things, past, present, and future.
All right.
We're on a long journey. Can you handle that?
Absolutely.
Good, because I'm excited. Where should we start? Why don't we tell everybody a little bit about your history?
Well, I was born in Texas, and I grew up in Georgia. I have spoken, seen spirit my whole life.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Like, since what age?
6 is the first time I remember seeing spirit that I remember. But when I was growing up in Georgia, my grandparents owned 100 acres of land, and I used to ride my bike 5 miles out there and walk the woods for hours. And my chief of protection, Windson, would walk with me. He would literally manifest and walk with me. And he taught me what I could eat and what I could not eat off the land, what could be used as medicine, topically, orally. And he showed me things that were just divine. I mean, he showed me realms and worlds that I didn't even realize existed. And so he taught me to be a shaman.
Like a survivor? Like a survivor?
Well, yes, exactly. Well, shamans live off the land.
Okay.
And so it's very important to know how to live off the land. And it's something that was important for him to teach me in my spiritual journey, because I do a lot of different things. And he was coaching me the whole time. And he would literally walk beside me, walk beside me.
So what does he look like?
Well, he's a chief.
And he's still with you?
Oh, yeah. He's my
really?
chief of protection, yes. He's been with me my whole life. And he's a Cherokee Indian. I know all about my guys. He's a Cherokee Indian. He lived in the 1700s.
You have a lot of them?
Yeah, I have a lot.
A lot?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited. You have a lot. Like how many?
20 that I know by name.
They're always working with you, aren't they?
Yes, because I do so many different things. You know, I'm a medium, I'm a shaman, I do so many different things. So they step in to what I'm doing, you know.
Are they here now?
Always with me.
Oh, this is exciting. I bet it's more exciting for you.
It's been my life.
Yes.
It has been my life. I mean, when I go into a new adventure, whatever it is, I will get a new guide to help me with that. Like at the Fort Wayne Metaphysical Chapel, I do lessons there, and I have certain guides that do that. I do messages there, and I have different guides that do that. When I do shaman work, I have different ones that do that. So they all have their own role in my experience.
Wow. Did you have any idea that you'd be on a TV show today?
No, not at all. No,
Not
they
at
kept
all?
that from me. They told me that something was coming and that it would excel from there. And so in my life, very few people look at things the way I do. You know, we all have guides, guardians, angels, archangels, elementals, ascended masters. We all have them with us. But the one thing about it is I consider that I work for spirit. I truly do work for spirit. They tell me what to do, and when they tell me what to do, I do it without question.
Without question.
Well, when you have heaven behind you, nothing you do can be wrong.
So when you have heaven behind you, and I have heaven, a little bit of heaven here on earth.
Yeah.
So whatever we're doing led by spirit.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm able to help a lot of people to do what I do just by being a medium and having family members and stuff like that come through. It changes them. It really does help them. I mean, we all believe in afterlife. We all know that we have friends and families on the other side, but a lot of times we want that confirmation. We truly need that confirmation. And a lot of times people don't get that. They wander around, they want to see their family, they want to hear their family, and they don't. And then you come to a medium, somebody that don't even know you, and then a grandmother comes through or a family member or a friend. And it's beautiful because they know you don't know them. They know you don't, but yet you are picking up things that only spirit can bring you. You know, and it is a true blessing. It is. And in my life, I'm truly blessed. I understand that I am different, and I understand completely that I'm here for a reason. I am here to do light work. I consider myself completely a light worker, and that is to expand the consciousness of everyone that I come in contact with, if they know it or not. You know as well as I do, that frequencies and energies govern everything in this universe. They really are. We are magnetic beings. Our universe is a magnetic universe, and everything around us is true divine light. And when you can tap into that, you can truly learn. You can learn everything. It's all there for us.
And it brings such a peace.
Yes.
I feel the heaviness of peace, and yet the light that is here.
You know, when we come into this earth, we all come into this earth with life lessons. Mm-hmm. You know, we have a life chart, a life grid that we do before we even come here. Then we come into the human form and we get amnesia. I mean, that's the thing about it. We agree to the things that we're supposed to do in life, and then we come into this earth, we're completely clueless to what we were supposed to do. So we're floundering around like a fish, not realizing that our guides are there to help us if we just open up enough to listen to them, because we all have them. We all have angels and archangels with us all the time. We all have our guides with us all the time. They're always there. And then we have family members that come in and out, and friends that come in and out. But a lot of times people just don't pick up on that. Or they'll feel a gentle touch on their shoulder, and they don't know who it's from. And, you know, there's...
Well, tell me something. So when you were young and you were having your chief by your side all the time, was your family surrounded by people of the same nature, or were you literally on this walk and journey by yourself?
I was on this walk and journey by myself because I learned at a very young age that I was not allowed to be able to share what I got, because I was seeing things that other people didn't see. And I was raised in a Catholic family. I mean, you don't get more traditional than a Catholic Italian family.
Oh.
And so I learned a long time ago that I couldn't share what I got because people didn't understand it. You know, they always, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're making it up. Oh, it's an imaginary friend. Oh, well, it wasn't like that. I mean, when spirit manifests for me, they can be as real as you, or you could see through them like an apparition. And it really is amazing to be able to be tuned into those frequencies, to be able to see and understand that. You know, they interact with us all, but people most of the time don't. And I know that I'm supposed to help people to understand that there is more outside of ourselves than just us. You know, we're not just here alone, like I said, floundering around like a fish. We have a purpose. You know, I say all the time at the Fort Wayne Metaphysical Chapel, it's not what we go through, it's how we go through it. We really do have the choice of how we deal with things. You know, we could deal with things negatively. You know, in this world, it's so easy to be in a negative state of mind.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because we're taught it. We're taught it from the second that we are born. We are taught fear, hate, ignorance. We're taught that, you know, and our parents did the best that they could because they were taught that, you know. But when you really give into the universe and the divine light that's around you, and you go with the flow of the energy that's around you, your life is always better. It always is better. And like I said, we have a life chart, and so the things that we go through, it's how we deal with those things if we pass that test. That everything, the way I look at it is everything in life is a test. Everything in life is a true test.
Okay.
And when you think of it that way, then every situation you have to kind of put yourself back a little bit, take the emotion out of it, and say, okay, what was it that I was supposed to learn in this instant? And then it changes your perspective, because when we play the victim, it's easy to play the victim. It truly is easy to play the victim. But you know, when you take your emotions out of it and you step back a little bit, then you really learn what you were supposed to learn in that instance, and it changes your life. In my life, I went through so much in my life. I've went through terrible tragedies, just like everybody on this planet has went through terrible tragedies. But I wouldn't change anything at this point because of who I am and what I am now and what I understand. I wouldn't change anything from my past whatsoever. I truly wouldn't. It's a blessing because, you know, like I said, once you get your emotions out of it and then you say to yourself, what was it I was supposed to learn? That's when it truly starts teaching you what you were supposed to learn in the first place.
Wow, when I think of what I went through to get here today, it was an awkward experience. I felt like I was having a baby and through my feet. But it was my soul calling me back to come here, to make sure that you're here, to share the message, to share the love and the light, and to continue to help the planet in the times that are troubled.
Absolutely, not to interrupt you, but that's the truth. I mean, we all are responsible for this planet. You know, you look at the destruction, you look at all the wars and the hate and the fear and the ignorance. It's sad. It really is sad. And if people would just literally just come together, we are one human race. And if people would show more empathy and more compassion and more true divine love for each other, this world would change overnight. It would change overnight.
Be the love that you want to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you want to manifest something in your life, you have to put out positive thoughts and positive affirmations, and they do come back to you. You know, I teach all the time, you have to retrain your brain. We are trained to think a certain way with the media and all the negative ads and stuff like that, and everything is about beauty and it's what's on the outside. Well, no, it's not. It's really what's on the inside. It truly is.
So if we were to have an ad for this program, what type of ad would we want to choose and select and manifest?
Manifest sending peace, love, and light out to all.
So that's the type of ad we'd have?
Yes.
AdSense.
AdSense.
That just came through me. That was my little guide questioning. Okay, so what kind of ad would we have for a show like this? Interesting. Kind of got sidetracked, but I'm kind of like you too. I'm working on becoming more aligned more often. But that's I understand you, and that's why I'm thirsty to have you here, so I can to transform as well as I watch you transform with others.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time that we all channel our guides.
Oh.
We really don't realize that our guides are with us always. And they really do govern our own personality, because our guides do have their own personalities. They were human. There's ascended masters. The angels, of course, the archangels, were never human. They were multidimensional beings. But the thing about it is they have their own personality, the angels, the guides, the Indians, everything. And so we don't realize how often we really do channel. You know, like if we're on a job interview and we're nervous and then we go in and we say the right thing at the right time, and all of a sudden you're talking about something you didn't even realize you was going to talk about. That's your guides helping you. They're there. They come in and out. We all channel spirit. You know, and something else that is very important that I must get out to the audience is it's very important for you to protect yourself. You always protect yourself and call upon the highest vibration of light, call upon the Christ consciousness, and protect yourself in a bubble of light. And the reason why you do that is because when you do that, then you know the energies that are coming into you. You know, there are negative energies out there. There are demonic energies, and there are terrible things. And when you open yourself up and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're calling in. That's why I always tell people never use a Ouija board. A Ouija board, you're opening up doorways that you cannot control. And it don't matter what your divinity is or the divinity of your guides. It really does open up doorways that you can't control. So be careful of how you deal with the guides and spirits and stuff. The ones that are around you will never be negative. They will never lie to you. They will always help you. That's what they're here for. They agreed to be here just like you agreed to be here.
Interesting. Boy, I'm just soaking all this up, and you know, my head's getting it, my heart's getting it, my soul's getting it. I'm like, oh wow. This is an unscripted television journey here today. So, reality show we are on.
Absolutely. Reality show of life.
It is. It has always been, and it's totally scripted by the divine. And I don't, you probably knew that, didn't you? You did that. Okay. So, I'm up to the minute with everything. Where was I going with that? Jump in if you're guided, because I want to get back onto the stream of thought that I was. I forget. I remember. I constantly parent my thought.
Well, I can speak more
Please.
about channeling your guides and protecting yourself. I mean, it's very important for you to understand, and I am speaking right to the people at this time. You must understand that it really is up to you on what you bring into your life. Your thoughts create. Everything in this universe is energy. We are energy. Our aura is energy. This universe and this planet is all energy. You know, like the moon really does affect us because we are, 70% water. You know, if it affects the oceans, of course it affects us. And there's planetary alignments, and there's many things that are going on at this time. And we really are going through a transformational time. I call it the Ascension. We are going through the Ascension process, and it's not what the Bible says it is not. We are ascending our mind, body, and spirit at this time. We are going up in consciousness. And there's a lot of growing pains that happen with that, because you have to think we are in a 3D world with 3D thinking, and that we're going up on frequency and in frequency, and our consciousness is really rising at this time.
And if I may interject,
Absolutely.
Spirit in a material world. So as we're going through this, we're in jobs that will change because we come true to our core calling, right?
And our friends.
And our friends.
And the people we meet all the time, you know. The thing about it is, when you're raising consciousness, you're going to realize friends and family are going to fall away. They really will. And just because they're your blood relation, they, you know, sometimes our own blood will tear us down worse than our worst enemy, you know, but they're family, so they think it's all right. But the people really do come in and out of our life. And as we go up in consciousness, people have to fall away, because if it's not to our highest good, then there's no point in them being in our energy whatsoever. You know, I am blessed because I know a lot of great people, you know, but I've went through a lot on my journey, and I had a lot of negative people around me, and it was very hurtful to watch them fall away, but I knew it was true the best for my divinity and for my divine journey.
And it was probably the best and highest good for everybody, because unfortunate, those people do not have ears to hear and to relate and to communicate.
Well, absolutely. You know, you can tell people all day long what you want to teach them. You can give them the best advice that truly came from Spirit, and they won't listen. It's on deaf ears. It really is. Just like I say all the time, it's not what we go through, it's how we go through it. I can say that over and over again, and until you understand what I truly mean, it's on deaf ears. It don't matter. It don't matter that I say that, but when you get it, it's like that Eureka moment, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, I got it. And I'm bubbling over with this part because I'm excited to share this one where I was going earlier. I'm here today because I was seeking a job, and I was seeking jobs in areas that I had no business in, because I had the sense of the reality, the old reality, where I thought, oh, I have to go here and here and here, the old way of reasoning, and I wasn't getting anything until I wrapped my arms around that angel tree that I discovered at my new house, and really started connecting with my guides and meditating to find this way. And then I found you, and like, oh my gosh, I have all these archives upstairs. Oh my goodness, this is, oh my gosh. I mean, look at that. All of those circles represent many shows that went way off that map 5 years ago. Now, I too don't have any regrets, but I too am here to call forth and to bring forth the new beginnings with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to the journey, absolutely. Yeah. The thing about it is, before you ever came to me, I told you this, that the archangels, and I communicate and I deal with angels all the time. I'm blessed. I've woke up and had angels standing in my room, and there's nothing more beautiful and divine than that. And they told me that things would be changing for me, and that there would be immense blessings coming to me. And then you came to me about this, and I kind of asked the angels, I was like, why didn't you tell me about that? And they was like, because we were manifesting it for we were taking care of the avenues and the channels that needed to be taken care of. And this is just the beginning. I mean, it's going to go quite far because we have heaven behind us. You know, I mean, it depends what your consciousness really is. You know, heaven, divine light, the universal light. You know, there's many different names, and it really don't matter what your religion is. We all believe in a higher power. We all know there is the divine guidance that helps us each and every single day, and it's very important for you to understand that, because no matter what you call God and whatever your religion is, it really don't matter what your religion is. What it matters is connecting to the highest vibrations of light, that Christ consciousness, the God light, whatever you want to call it, it is all the same thing. And there's been wars over beliefs since the history of the history. There's always been wars over it, and I don't understand why people can be so negative and teach love and light in one breath, but then condemn you that if you do this, that, and the other, you're sinning and you're going to hell. You know, I never understood that. And I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy and everything, you know.
And you went through some of your own hell.
Oh, I went through a lot of hell.
I think we always,
I feel like hell is on earth.
Yeah.
So, you know, because there's nothing worse. Hell can be a state of consciousness. I mean, and really it is a state of consciousness, because there's nothing worse than being in a room full of people and feeling more alone than you've ever felt in your life. And we've all felt that. Yeah. That is hell, you know, and that's one of the things that I was talking about earlier, about retraining your brain. You know, only you are responsible for how you deal with things. And, you know, it's really hard when you have a way of thinking and you've thought it your whole life, and then you really reevaluate your life, and you really reevaluate what you want out of life, and then you make the choice to change your own thinking, to give positive affirmations, and they really truly work. You have to think, energy, our thoughts is energy. And so when you think something, when you send it out to the universe, you get that back. So a lot of times when you're like, oh God, I don't want this, what happens? It happens every single time, because when you tell the universe that you don't want something, they'll bring it to you.
But really? I thought it also works the same way as to be accurate and impeccable with words.
Oh,
Your thoughts, words,
absolutely.
and action.
Absolutely, because that's how you manifest.
Yeah,
But
okay.
you know, the things in our life that we're trying not to manifest, if you worry about those kind of things, it will manifest in your life to teach you a lesson. Oh, you don't want this? Okay, okay. So they'll present it to you. And just like when with life lessons that we go through and we've went through it, the universe has a funny way of bringing it back to us to test us. Even when we think we've healed something in our own
Yes.
soul, then we realize that we have to be tested over and over again to see if we truly healed that part in ourselves. You know?
I see.
Because it will manifest in our life again. To prove to ourselves how we dealt with it. Because just because we healed ourselves, it could be 2 years down the road and it could be presented again and then we just act like a fool. You know, or it's presented in our life again and then we're like, you have no power over me. This says no power over me. And then you realize how much you truly have grown. It's a beautiful thing. It really is when you're
It's
tested
soothing.
and the way you navigate through those tests and you realize afterwards, then you give yourself a pat on the back and be like, oh, thank you, God. Thank you for presenting that to me because I understand that I truly have healed it. And then it has no power over you.
Well, guess what? It's almost time to end this show.
Really?
Yeah, it's just time flies when we're having fun. I'd love for you to come back again.
Absolutely.
I'd love for you to come back, and I'm sure you'll be guided.
Yes, always.
Any messages right now on what we'd share?
No.
No.
Well, we'll go with the flow.
We'll go with the flow.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, it is time to end the show, I'm thinking. So I want to thank everyone out there for taking your time to stop, look, and listen in our divine appointment here today on another wonderful episode of TV Angels Talk. I'm in a soul relationship, and I'm with the one, the only one, Rusty Piazza.
Rusty, yes.
Somebody said to call you Pizza.
I've heard that all my life. Yes.
Yeah, and so we're both here to say divine love, and holy kisses.